I didn't understand why they did it at first. I probably still don't. I used to live on a farm on Zhangzi. Me and my mate Jen were bought to work there. It was a Sliv couple. I thought they treated us right. They gave us food and shelter. They even gave us one of their old vidboxes for our room occasionally. We were treated better than most Garths. It was a good life. Then I saw on the news the council made contact with a new species. I thought they looked like Furless Yama when I first saw them. Only a lot bigger. Humans, they called themselves. First contact is fairly rare, but most people have seen at least one in their lifespan. I was there when the Platterax joined, so I knew what was coming. They needed to build working translators, establish currency exchanges, and connect them to the extranet before the humans could properly interact with the rest of the galaxy. The whole process took at least 3 cycles, but it still wouldn't be perfect until about 30 or 40 cycles. Anyway, the strange things didn't start happening until 4 cycles later when the first human world was connected to the extranet. I was lying down on my bed with Jen tending to my body. I accidentally left the gates open and one of the Trang ran onto a road. You can guess what happened next. My masters punished me, which I probably deserved. Trang are expensive to grow. Anyway, that's when I saw it on the news. The humans had read about servitude on the extranet and they were mad, very mad, madder than my masters. Maybe they never had servitude on their homeworld but wanted their own Garth. Well, it's a bit self-entitled to expect people to give them Garths. They started shouting at the council meetings. Hundreds of humans traveled to the capital, angry about something. At the time, I thought they were being ungrateful. The council had opened up to them, and they spit in the council's face. It was strange. Things started escalating after that. The humans began threatening violence. I still didn't understand why they didn't just buy Garths. The council shrugged, of course. I mean, these humans couldn't beat the masters. The council has always been there. Soon my mate was carrying my child. We began worrying. If the masters found out, they would kill her. I didn't know what to do. We decided to hide it, but in about a cycle, it's going to become obvious. That's when the humans began their war. They started fighting against the council, targeting servitude centers, and stealing the Garths. Did they want us for themselves? They were showing footage of a taken servitude center. The press were allowed in. The translators were still buggy, but I could understand most of it. Most of it were talking about things like rights and equals. Garths weren't allowed to go to school, so I couldn't understand, but I knew that equals was a maths thing. And then he said something. He directed it at Garths everywhere. It translated perfectly, but I didn't understand the meaning at the time. We are all born free and equal. I figured it didn't matter anyway, the humans would likely be destroyed by the council. I was wrong. I didn't know this at the time, but the humans grew up on war. There was always war on their world, and it didn't end until hundreds of cycles after they left their solar system. War was all they knew until the peace era, as they called it. I guess that's why they decided to fight. Doing nothing was alien to them. I suppose going to war must have felt like coming home. Of course, I didn't know this at the time, so when it was shown that the humans were managing to survive. Not only that, in the footage it looked like some Garth were fighting with them. I couldn't believe my eyes. This wasn't good news, and it only added to the stress of my mate. We still didn't know what we would do. It didn't matter, because they found out anyway. I thank the humans for what happened next. I didn't really understand it, but them freeing servitude centers meant that my mate was more valuable. So they spared her life. Instead, they would keep her and sell the child. We were happy that we were spared. Then the humans began winning. They pushed their way all the way into the central planets and even made it to Zhangzi. I saw their drop pods. It was like the stars were falling. Me, my mate, and our masters all hid underground when we saw them coming. The masters had built a makeshift shelter. Eventually, the humans were in the house. We tried to keep as quiet as we can in case they found us. It didn't help. They found us anyway. When they marched down the stairs with their projectile weapons, they looked like the beasts in the stories my mother told back at the servitude centers. They were black all over their body. You couldn't see their faces. You didn't know where the weapon ends and the body begins. They were not the same humans I saw on the vidbox. One of my master grabbed me, forced me in front of him. He started shouting, stay back, or I swear I will cut him." The humans stared at me, probably waiting for their translators. Then they looked at each other, then nodded. A bright flash came from the end of their weapon hand, and the noise almost deafened me. My master dropped to the floor, while my other master shrieked, which I thought would definitely deafen me. One of the humans grabbed my master and took her away. One of the humans walked towards me. I stepped backwards, not knowing what he would do. That was when my mate started screaming. All this stress had caught up to her child. My translator kicked in. "Oh shit. Jenkins. Get your ass down here. She's going into labor." It's been 10 cycles since that day. The humans won their war, evicted the head of the council, put themselves on top, and rewrote a whole bunch of laws, banning servitude. They added clinics, which helped Garths re-enter society. Taught me how to do maths, which was very useful, among other things. I get paid for my work now, and I can use it to buy nice things for my mate. I still don't understand why they went out of their way to help us. Why they sacrificed so many of their kind to end something that has been going on so long that no one minded it. But after watching my daughter go for her first day of school, I think I'm coming close to understanding. Author's name and the link to original text is in the description. Consider tapping the thumbs up and pressing the subscribe button if you enjoyed this video.